Hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, Seint artist. Today we're going to talk about where contour goes and where bronzer goes. I'm also going to show you a handy little contour trick when you're learning to contour your nose. Everybody likes their nose contoured a little bit differently, but sometimes that can be the hardest place to contour. But a lot of the questions I get is, hey, I can't remember, where does my bronzer go again? Or hey, where does contour go again? So I'm going to show you both and how they both do different things. But these are the two where people get really confused because they look similar sometimes, but they do go in different places. The difference is cool versus warm. A shadow is more cool toned. Your bronzer is obviously warm toned. So I'm going to show you where they go. I'm going to start with my contour. I'm using indigo. It is my favorite, and I'm going to go top to bottom, and I'm going to show where they go, and then we're also going to do the trick on my nose. The nose is the hardest part, especially if you have a nose like mine where there's a little bit of a bump, but it's just not one of those beautifully straight structured noses. I'm going to show you a trick on how to contour using the detail brush that's really easy, really handy. Okay, so the first thing that I do on my forehead is I look at it and I say, hey, forehead, you're shady. Get it? Okay, so on your forehead, we all have natural shadowing. You can see light reflecting off the top. You can see that over here, it just shadows a little bit more. That's contour. That's where your contour goes. You're just putting it where you have natural shadowing to accentuate, cover, keep your face with dimension. We don't want to make our face one-dimensional. No one feels good that way, I'm telling you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in on the big end, I'm going to stamp on top, and I'm going to focus my contour on either side of my forehead like this. Now, indigo is a very dark contour. If you are scared of putting too much contour on, it happens, and it's really okay. This is a totally workable product. I like creams. Creams work well with creams. Creams blend seamlessly. They're incredibly forgiving. This is definitely not my skin tone, and I have definitely put too much on, and I'm going to show you how this is so forgiving. So with me, the trick is light touch. You don't want to rub it off. You want to blend it out. That's the trick. You can continue to blend, and what I do is I keep it where it is in this general area, push up to your hairline. You don't want your makeup to have an edge around your face. You want it to look like a part of your face. So I always turn it around and I bring it down. I turn, blend, 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 pushing up into the forehead. Take this empty little end and pull out. Pull out, pull out, pull out. Look at that. It just blends out so nice from being this big scary mark. So again, circles and a light touch. You don't need a lot to move this product. The warmth of your skin and the way that our brushes are just so good. So you just use the tips of the bristles and it moves it and it blends it out, and it doesn't matter if you've put too much on. Blend it up towards your hairline, grab that little end and pull, pull, pull. These are great tools. And look at that. That's a darn good looking forehead. Okay? And I don't put a main highlight on my forehead, so I'll take a brightening highlight. I'm using Versailles, and I go between my brows, go over the tops, and then I pull towards that contour. And I do this because once my contour meets my brightening, they blend together and they make a really beautiful seamless finish that gives me all the coverage. I have a hair on my nose. I feel it. But it just creates this really great balance in the middle. So I have my brightening here, I have my balance, and then I have my contour. And then you just wipe it seamlessly. Play with it. Makeup should be fun. If it's not fun, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. All right, I'm gonna move down to my cheekbones. We all have natural shadowing. Again, we're not turning our face one-dimensional. We don't want to erase these, but we still want coverage, right? I already have my main highlight on. And so what I do is I'm 42. Just celebrated my birthday. Tell me happy birthday. It makes me feel good. But you put in your contour line right on that natural shadow and it's gonna pull down. But if you want to give yourself some lift, go just above. I'm not saying put it where your blush goes. Bring it just above that shadow and it's just really good. So I'm gonna go into my contour here on the edge, and I like when you're learning how to contour, hang it way back. Don't bring it down. Don't cover your whole natural shadow, but come above the shadow and hug that bottom part of your cheekbone. There's still the top of your cheekbone. You just want to hang it back the width of the brush back here. This is the best way to learn how to contour. And just like with anything else, it's okay if you do too much. I think it's better to do too much on your cheek, but you want to tap this out and you just tap, tap, tap it. And you want it to be under blended, and it's okay to leave it where it is and you just tap, tap, tap it. But tap it above your natural shadow. I was going to do one side of my face and then the other, and I forgot already, but it's whatever. Contour, bronzer, warm, cool. It's going to be okay. But you see how it just gives you some lift and it accentuates those cheekbones and makes them just kind of yummy. That's all contour is doing, but underblend this. You want this to look like a big brown mark on your face, because when you add your bronzer and your blush, they work together to create this. You don't want a contour mark, a bronzer mark, and then, oh look, she's wearing blush. You want this to work together to look like a natural finish. Oh, she looks beautiful with her makeup. Makeup will always look like makeup. So underblend right here. Okay, we're gonna move down to the jaw. I'm gonna do my nose last because this trick is really good, so I'm gonna do it last. The jawline. All you're doing here is chiseling out the jaw. Maybe I'm a little I find myself to be a little jowly. It's one of my things. You don't think I am? That's okay, I do. It's my face and this is what I like to do, but I like to chisel out the back part. I don't bring it all the way down, and I don't need to accentuate my chin. So every face is different. Talk to me, we'll figure it out. So I tap it on and I go in front of my earlobe. Okay, let's move these little hairs. Tap it in front of your earlobe. And all this does is, do you see how just even this really dark mark just structures the back part of my jaw here? Okay, and then I pull the brush down here and let it pull down. Grab it and pull. And all this does is it hides that jowliness or your chin. And I like to just really focus on the back portion of my jaw. And so I pull it up in front of my ear and then I pull it down. And all this does is it creates structure and it slims things down a little bit. And I like it. And that's why I do it. That's why I do anything with my makeup, is because I like the finish that I get. Okay, let's talk about this contour trick, okay? I'm just gonna blend this down. Blend as you apply. I like that method because if I don't blend as I apply, I just feel like I need to fix this. Pulling it a little in. Okay, if I don't blend that right away, I'll leave the house with it just, and nobody likes that. Nobody tells you. So blend it. One more contour place before we get to the nose, and that's my lips. I contour the heck out of my lips because I have thin lips. I have my father's lips, and so they're not, I don't know, they're my father's lips. So I always take the edge. I put a little contour on the edge, and I go under. You see this natural tiny shadow? All I'm doing is I'm going to accentuate it. That's all I did. I just rub it on. I do the same thing above my Cupid's bow. And it's just a subtle amount. And I like the way that it creates almost like a pout. And so I like to blend this up into my lips on the sides, but I like to accentuate the shadows in the middle because I feel like it gives me a fuller, more pouty look. And I want that without shoving a needle in my lips. Okay, the nose trick. We'll get my lips drawn on in a little bit. So here's what I do. I like to straighten things out. So what you do is you put it on the edge here, and I like to first draw 2 lines on either side of my nose, okay? They don't have to be perfect. I just draw 2 lines on the sides of my nose. Again, they're not perfect. They're not even. I'm going to square off the tip. Now, I like seriously, you can change the entire look of a nose if you want to. I have my shine. I like my squared off line of contour to go right below it, right here. And I just kind of camouflage this part. It's your prerogative. It's your nose. And I'm not here to tell you exactly where things go. Take that brush and we're going to tap it up and down. Tap it up and down. Okay. Once you've tapped both sides, I want you to tap it over. And I want you to basically make your entire nose. I want this pulled up here into your natural brow because that's where your shadowing goes. But you see how my tip is still white, but across the bridge of my nose. Okay, if you could do this over your whole nose too. I focus the main darkness on the outsides, but I blended it all together and I have a brown nose. We're gonna take this tip. We're gonna go into our brightening. Again, I use first side. We're gonna pinch it and we're gonna tap it. Now my whole nose is brown, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap this right down the middle, and then I'm gonna get the tip right here, up the middle. You can bring it in to where we fanned it out earlier and just do that. Then we're gonna take our finger and we're gonna tap out right here. And this creates that straight line. You can get that tip a little wider if you want, but use your finger. The warmth of your finger will pick up excess product, but it blends it out beautifully and seamlessly. And you can honestly structure it however you want. If you took that contour, okay, and you had it all blended across your nose, and then you wanted to take, a lot of people structure their nose this way, and I think it's super cute. So you go down the middle. You can go all the way down like I just did, or you could just hit the tip and leave that little gap. Okay, and do you see what happens? It just creates like a little button nose. Like, oh, look, I got a button nose. Look at that. You can make this, looks pretty bulbousy on me, but we'll just fix that by blending, blending, blending onto that contour. Seriously, you can't mess this up. This is where I say this makeup is incredibly forgivable. I like a good straight nose. I wish I could pull off a button nose, but that's my nose. It says no. It's kind of like when I tried to go by Mandy. I had a teacher that was like, you're not a Mandy, you're Amanda. And I was like, and from that day on, I was like, I can't do a button nose. That's basically what I'm telling you. So you can structure your nose. You can make it crooked if you wanted to, but you can just blend the whole thing on your entire nose. Use this tiny tip to just create that straight line. That way you're not trying to create it like this. Everybody wants to do it differently, but I found that's a really great way to just get that straight line. That's my opinion, and that's it. All right, I'm gonna switch brushes because this is contouring. We're done contouring. That was it. I say that was it, but I really spent a lot of time explaining it, but I really wanted to get into the nitty gritty of it. All right, we're going to the blush and bronzer brush, and the reason I'm switching to this brush is because it comes in a collection with the bronzer, and it saves you $10. You can buy the brush, and for $5 more, you get a bronzer. Or you can wait and buy them separately and pay more. I don't know. Buy the collection. It's great bang for your buck. All right. We're using this palette. I'm going over from contour, which, I mean, when you see them together, cool, warm. That's the difference. There's only 3 places that I really put bronzer, and they're really great learning to place places. If you want to add more, you can totally do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in on the short end of the blush and bronzer brush. I'm going to tap in Bella bronzer. It's my ride or die. Can't do without it. I've tried the others and I always come back to Bella because it's good. It's a great across the board bronzer. If you're not sure which one to get, you will always win with Bella. Always. I don't care what your skin tone is. Bella bronzer was the standalone shade for bronzers for years. The other colors just came out a year ago. So it was always everybody's one and done, and it looks stunning on every skin tone. So you can't go wrong. So if you're confused, grab Bella. You will always be happy. Okay, so we put Bella on the end. There's only 2 places. We're gonna pop it right here, and you can already see its added warmth. And then we're gonna go, we have that contour, we're gonna go right up here, almost like a blush. And do you see how it just creates this extra warmth? I'm just gonna use this end and I'm gonna drape, which just means, it's a fancy way of saying I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna blend it into this around my eye. We're just draping around our eye, just in a big C. I like to bring my bronzer down. I like warmth into my blush, whether it's pink, whether it's orange, whether it's purple, whatever color I put on my cheek, peach, I always add bronzer to it. I like it. That's why I do any makeup. Oh, my dog. Okay, so we just drape it, and that's all I do for bronzer. So if you're ever thinking, oh, I don't know what to do with it, this was it. I also use it to bridge my neck. So I'm gonna go to the fluffy end and I'm gonna pick some up and I'm gonna go right down here. My neck, as you can tell, is always a bit lighter. It's lighter than my chest and it's lighter than my face. So I add bronzer down here to bridge the two. And that's it. but look at how just this subtle warmth just does it in. I mean, you could use your bronzer just as a blush. So we add it to here. This is where the sun hits, okay? You're driving in your car, this is where the sun hits. You're sitting on your deck, this is where your sun hits. I mean, when you put glasses on, it hits here and it's gonna hit up here. So we just add it right here, blend it. I tap it and I blend it around, drape it down, and then I bring it down. Now, if you are of an age like I am, I'm 42, again, say happy birthday, you lose volume in your cheeks as you mature. I think it's stunning. I like it, but putting blush on can be a bit challenging sometimes. And so smile, bring it down, and you can see exactly where it goes when you smile. I mean, the apples just pop right back out and you just place it there. But you could easily, I'm gonna just use this fluffy end to just blend this into my brightening. I like a good blend between my brightening and my bronzer. But you could easily use this. Watch, I'm gonna grab a little more, I'm gonna smile, and I'm gonna make this my blush today. Didn't even need a blush. I mean, your basics could be your main highlight, your brightening highlight, contour, and your bronzer. You could easily do that. It's so warm and it's so pretty. Look at that. That's my blush now. I just jazzed it up. I just gave it a little more punch by adding a little more. Or you can add a nice blush. It's whatever you want. It also makes a great lip liner. This goes well with a lot of different colors. Let's find a blush, shall we? I've been craving a pink tone lately, even though it's December. That's fine. It's fine. Videos are forever, so it's fine. I'm gonna go into a shade of the month that's currently available, I think. Where is it? Yes, Pink Lemon. I love this color. It's so stunning. I'm gonna go into my blush and bronzer brush. I'm gonna pick some up. Now this one looks pink and it's so pretty. We're just gonna tap this on. Oh, look at that. And look at how pretty it goes with the bronzer. So you can do whatever your prerogative is. Now my bronzer is not gonna be my blush all day because I can't walk around like that. Can't. But I wanna show you this. Let's see if I can find the brush. You'd think I'm better prepared, but sometimes I get on here and I just wing it. This brush will work. Okay, we're gonna go into my bronzer. Now I contoured my lips. Now I'm gonna line them with Bella bronzer. It is so, so, so pretty. Okay, hold on. I like a sharp corner. Can't talk when I'm doing that. Okay, so we bring this across. I kind of bridge my Cupid's bow a little bit, but I don't outer line. Look at how lined lips. I'm telling you, it's where it's at. If it wasn't before, it will be now. All right, at least anybody who watches this tutorial, I'm gonna grab and I'm gonna line the bottom. I just like the way my lips look after I've contoured them. It just feels good. All right, gotta get this corner. Sorry. Okay. I've lined them with this pretty brown bronzer. Now I'm gonna take this pink. You can use pink grapefruit, pink lemonade. You could use ballet, Madrid. I mean, this is a shade of the month, and by the time you watch this, they could be gone if it's after December 2022. This is such a pretty pink. I'm gonna put this on now. It's a satin finish, so there's one more trick. I'm gonna pop this on. It's gonna blend with my bronzer, okay? Now, if you're ever using a satin finish as a blush, it can feel very drying. It doesn't have a lipstick finish. It has a more matte finish, as you can see. But isn't that pretty with the bronzer? Take a chapstick, take a balm, the Demi Balm. You can take the Demi Gloss, you can take a gloss, whatever you want, and just top this on top, and it just will hydrate your lips a little bit more because the satins can give a dry look. I'm not gonna lie, but they're so pretty. You still do it, and you just add a chapstick on top. All right, ooh, you know what? Any gloss will work. Let's grab Hopelessly Devoted because that's available December 2022, depending on when you're watching this, right here. And it just hydrates it. Hopelessly Devoted looks pink. It's sheer. It just adds a little frost, but it also makes it, I have some bronzer peeking that it needs to blend. Look at that. That's pretty. I always forget because once the shades of the month are gone, I try not to use them because then I feel like I'm showing you something you can't have and it makes me feel bad. But I'll be fine. But look at that. So this is bronzer only and contour. This is bronzer with pink, and it's just good. I'm gonna add a little more bronzer. It's so pretty. But that's it. But that's bronzer, that's contour, different places to put it, and why. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day.